Hello, everybody. We're back here on the free to play. Um, I am ready to make my fusion, and I've made my choice on my next 6 star. So I kind of wanted to talk about that. Um, as far as how do I have a key at 17 minutes? No, I'm not gonna really have a key anytime soon. I don't think this video is gonna be that long. Um, so I've decided my next 6 star is not going to be Husk, and will instead be Ursula the Mourner. Now, a couple of different reasons for that. One is she's a reviver, and we could use one. Two, she brings increased attack and a more consistent decreased attack for Clan Boss. I've been saying all along how Clan Boss is my priority, and Ursula brings more viability to Clan Boss than I feel like Husk does. I also think Ursula's increased attack across the entirety of my attack based champions that do well, with the exception of Coffin Smasher, um, will uh, give me more damage overall than what Apothecary is currently bringing. She's also going to be bringing increased defense and strengthen, which will get me maybe one or two more turns. I don't know for sure. Um, on top of her ability to revive champions if they do die early. So I have seen some instances where Kale has got clipped by, he didn't quite heal up all the way, um, and then got clipped by an ability. So I would like to see him revived in that scenario. Um, she's also Void Affinity, so the decreased attack that she brings is going to land more often. And like I said, bringing increased attack, it makes a big difference. She can also then replace my Spirit Host in my Arena team. Now, my Arena team has been struggling ever so slightly. Now, I took my defense down back to just Spirit Host. And I did so because I wanted to derank a little bit because I've not been having as much success in gold as I would like. I'm still able to win at gold level, gold 1 level, but I have to be very picky and choosy about my battles. Um, and when events like what's out right now, the classic arena takedown, I'm I wanted these points, and so in order for me to get consistent wins, I needed to derank a little bit. Otherwise, I have to be playing a lot and refreshing and taking those easy wins and refresh and waiting 20, 30 minutes, however long it is, and refreshing and taking those easy wins again, instead of just basically going right down the line, which is how I kind of do it at the moment. Um, so that's kind of where I'm at and why I'm going in the direction that I'm going. Um, Ursula's gonna also she's gonna reduce the attack of the enemies. She's gonna increase my attack, and should somebody get killed on arena, she could revive them and give us strengthen and defense. So it just kind of makes sense to go in this direction, which is why I'm making the decision to go with Ursula as my next 6 star. She's also going to bring increased attack, a small amount of turn meter control. Um, it's very, very minimal. It's very, very small, but it can add up and become a big deal. But that increased attack, um, it's going to be quite valuable. And just the fact that she's Void Affinity opens up so many doors across the entirety of the game. She can't weak hit, therefore, I'll always be able to land this decreased attack on any boss we encounter, um, and also be able to bring increased defense and strength in for the team. So, um, she is a little book heavy, at least on the A2, which is unfortunate, but I have a lot of books stockpiled right now. So I do feel like I'll be relatively okay in that department. So, um, Yeah, it just makes a little bit more sense. Husk is great. This was the other factor that I haven't even mentioned yet. Husk is a great champion. I don't have the gear for a Husk right now. When you're dealing with a enemy max HP champion, you really need to hit the crit rate cap, and you need a lot of crit damage is what you're looking for. Um, and I just don't have that much gear. Um, if you're asking me to build out a Husk versus building out an Ursula, building out Ursula to be survivable and tanky is a lot easier than building a Husk to do damage, just based on the gear that I have. Now, obviously, there is really good gear elsewhere on the account. I've got really good gear on Kale. I've got really good gear on Sun Wukong that I could potentially move to Husk, but I don't think. Even then, I don't think it's worth that much. Let's say, for instance, I took the gear that's on my Kale and put it on my Husk, right? We just looked at his stats: 127% crit damage and with 100% crit rate. I mean, I just don't think that that's enough really to get the full value out of a Husk. Um, if it was Royal Guard, maybe, because he does do a lot more damage than Husk, but I have a Husk on my main account. I mostly only use him in Hydra. I don't really use him as an enemy max HP damage dealer, um, because he just doesn't hit that hard for me. And when I did my Hydra runs this week, I kind of felt that. I was using Husk in one of those Hydra runs, and I'm like, man, I would love it if he could hit harder. And he's built to hit harder. So I'm not knocking Husk. Great champion. Glad I pulled him. It's just right now, what's going to benefit me on Clan Boss more is going to be going for Ursula, I feel like. We'll see what kind of damage she can do compared to Apothecary. Um, I don't know the answer. I don't know what to expect, but I do think that she's going to bring more to the team with her kit than what Apothecary brings. Um, and she will contribute, just bringing increased attack in general is going to be very, very valuable to these three champions right here who are all attack based. So, we're real quick. One thing I didn't talk about last video that I just noticed and forgot to mention, I did get blessings on Deacon Armstrong. I am going with Cruelty for Clan Boss. Yes, the first version of Cruelty isn't anything special, but it's still 5% of damage reduction permanent. So you really can't. Um, and it's only after five hits by Deacon, and he gets a lot of hits in. So, um, I really think that that's quite valuable to be able to have in general. Um, so sorry, I'm just reading some of the kit. So, I still think that 5% decreased defense is going to be very valuable for the team, and it's still the route that I want to go. With him with Cruelty. There are probably some other blessings, like I could have done Phantom Touch and things like that, but I still think that Cruelty is the way to go. Maybe I'll play around with it, but it does cost gems to after the first switch to change it. So maybe I'll fool around with it on my main account. But I do think having somebody, at least one character with Cruelty on a Clan Boss team is good to have. Um, so that's the update on who I'm picking for 60. So now comes the Ascension. Or the Fusion. One question that kind of comes to mind here about the Fusion. I talked about this briefly in the last episode about why I want to do it now and not wait. I'm opening up an entire new avenue of missions. Um, and missions have really been the fuel to this free to play fire. I'm generating a lot of energy. I'm generating a lot of shards, or not shards. I'm generating a lot of gems. Um, and it gives me a purpose. finding a purpose is probably one of the harder things to do in Raid. And what I mean by that is, and I'm going to address this in this is one of the questions that was posed to me for question block, which is why it's on my mind, and I'll address it then as well. But um, when do I run dungeons? When do I level champions? When should I be running potion keeps? When should I be running focusing on Doom Tower or building teams for tag team arena or there's so many things to do in this game, and if you're putting all of your attention into 100 different places, it can really overwhelm you and spread you out too thin, so where you can't fully master or contribute in any one area. Missions have done a great job of keeping me focused on one thing. So, for example, at reset yesterday, I was focused on doing Void Potion Keep in order to get the um, materials I needed to advance the missions. Once that was done, then I was focused on going into campaign and leveling up my 4 champions that I'm going to put into the fusion. Right? These four rares right here. It's focus. It's giving me an area of the game that I can focus on and work towards, um, which helps make the free to play more satisfying. I'm not just running multi battles in Spider because I don't have anything better to do. I'm working towards something. This is what's great about fusions in the game in general, like when you get the monthly fusions or when you get really interesting events and tournaments, kind of like the Titan event right now, though I've expressed to you guys I'm not a big fan of this event at all. Um, not just for free to play, but also on my main account. Even on my main account, I don't have the champions to complete those events. So, um, just in general, having events and things to do in the game helps put you in a specific direction. So, on the main account, for me, it's been doing um, faction wars. Right now on the main account, it's doing Hydra, so I'm leveling up a second Shamil. I've leveled up a Trunda to try and use her brokenness in Hydra right now. So, having direction in the game is a big deal. On the free to play, my primary direction, I almost said primary directive. My primary direction is clan boss. Secondary is missions because that gets me closer to clan boss. Um, and it's part of the reason I'm just progressing so quickly through the game because I'm able to focus on missions and things like that. If I wait until Clan v Clan to do the fusion, then I'm going to miss out on time. So that means that Monday, I time that could have been applied to working on missions won't be applied tonight. So I'm recording this video. It's going to come out on Monday. It's going to come out on the 23rd. I'm recording it on the 22nd of October because I have 99 energy here and I don't know where I want to put it yet. And I'm afraid that I'm going to put that energy into a bunch of stuff tonight only to do the fusion tomorrow and then find out that, oh, I need to go run just a spider or ice golem or something. And so I want to make sure I'm using my energy completely efficiently. So that's kind of why I'm doing the fusion now. I wanted to do it on camera, mostly so you guys can kind of get an idea of it. Um, so as you can see, my champions right now, they are level 40. They are 4 stars, and I have fully ascended them. So you click, you include them all here. And then we hit use. It does cost silver. Always important whenever you're doing a fusion, like the monthly fusions that come out, you got to make sure that you save up enough silver to complete the fusion. I think for legendaries, it's 1 million silver. that really needs a more climactic sound effect. That was very anticlimactic. And you'll see I got a whole bunch of that silver I just spent back. So really uh great. Oh, and I get 2 legendary books, which are going to be great for the Clan B clan as well. And now as you can see, look at this head start that I'm getting, right? So right away we're getting resources. We're getting a bunch of energy, a bunch of silver. Ooh, 6 pieces of 5-star gear. I'm excited about that. Deal 10 million damage to Demon Lord on a single difficulty, minimum difficulty hard. 10 million. What's my current... Sorry. Red. Gotta click all the red dots. I think my current brutal damage is 12 million. All right, yeah. So I can easily do that. My key refreshes in 2 minutes. So I'll be able to run that. And now look at that. I have 400 energy to play with. So what comes after that? Already silver 4. Boom. Ice Golem. Clear stage 14 or higher of Ice Golem's Peak 10 times on auto. Stage 14, 10 times on auto. Perfect. Easy. Done. So, but now I have the energy to contribute to those missions and get further. Look at all these gems. Look at that. That's this is great. This is going to be really, really good in general for the account. This is a big stop right here. Upgrade an affinity bonus to level 7. We are very, very close. In order to complete the upgrade, I'm going to need 700, no way around it, gold medals. I have to get back into gold 1. So this is going to be a real hard stop for me. And that's going to take me some time to complete because I'm going to have to be doing a lot of arena and I'm going to need to be doing a lot of gold arena, which means I need to get champions leveled up and in gold arena. I need to make my champions faster and I need to make them hit harder. So we're going to have to be looking at now re-gearing some champions. We need to get Deacon to be much faster if possible. Ursula is going to replace my Spirit Host, which will be valuable because then Ursula can come in and not only bring increased attack, but also decrease the attack of the enemy, which is also why I need Deacon to be faster so that we get the first turn. So a lot of things need to happen right now. So in order to get those 700 medals, I need to get to a position in PvP where I can routinely and safely farm gold 1 without having to constantly kind of play around gimmicks almost. I don't know how else to say it. Like or not gimmicks, by picking the really easy wins, like the little onesie twosie, like, oh, like let me show you an example. So I come in here and we refresh the list and we say, oh look, okay, here's a big easy win right here. Boom. Now that's on silver 4 obviously, so I'm probably gonna have to either spend a lot more resources or just start. I don't know if I can win. I may have to manual this because I have an idea how this is going to go. Because we are going to kill everybody but him, and I need to use this one instead. There we go. Okay. In fact, I probably need to change that in my auto. In the auto configuration that I currently have set up, I have Sun Wukong using a different ability. So let's make this priority. Well, it can't. So we'll make this priority 1 and we'll make this priority 2 now. And that's because we're starting to run into things like block damage. We're starting to run into things like unkillable. So this will be a big change. where I'll actually be able to remove the debuff. So for example, this is a lot of unkillable or block damage right here. So if we come in here, see, he's really fast. He puts that block damage on. Ideally, I would turn. It wasn't in time to stop Kale, but you'll see he removed. Oh wow, they have a lot of resistance. I'm really surprised. We got to get this Demitha down before she applies another block damage herself. I'm gonna auto here because we need to try and get the Kale down. And then Helicath should be relatively easy to take out now. And I think this is silver 4 still. Hey, it landed that time. So, but yeah, I need to start trying a little bit harder in arena here now. So, I'm going to put my defensive team back up. Nope. Yep, yep. Yep, yep. Okay. And we'll try and hold steady in gold 1 if we can. So, Demon Lord key is up. I'm going to do that off camera because we're already about 20 minutes. I don't want to bore you all with Demon Lord. There's also not too much different. I mean, yes, I did get that blessing, but it didn't really change the damage because the damage fluctuation is so much greater than a 5% value. So it didn't make a big noticeable difference because I had a bad run on Brutal and even Nightmare as well. So my Nightmare keys, instead of getting into the Master Chest, I only got the Guardian Chest on it because I only did 12.62 million. The first run was great. The second run on Nightmare was a bit of a disappointment. Somebody got knocked out a little early. And I don't think Sun Wukong landed as many of his Brimstone procs. So, but yeah, that's the status of the account. A lot of great questions are coming out of my... Oh, so let me announce this real quick. If you haven't looked, I do have a new series that I started on the channel called Question Black. It's going to be a weekly video where I answer questions and comments from you guys. So I recommend you checking it out. There's a lot of good information in there. And if you guys have questions, send them to me either on that video or in any of the videos on my channel, and I will do my best to include them and try to answer them and discuss, because it's the best way to get that information to you guys, because I don't know what you don't know, right? So, you know, when I say things like A1 and A2, I think in a video earlier that I recorded today, I was like, you know, oh, like even just now, I was like, yeah, increase attack is really going to help my team. Well, except for Coffin Smasher, obviously. And then I click away, and it's like, wait, why not Coffin Smasher? Well, he's an HP based champion, so he doesn't, you know, but I don't think to explain those things. See, damage based on HP, so increase attack doesn't do anything for him. And so that's why it's like, you know, these questions that I get in these comments are very, very valuable to not only me, but also to the rest of the community who would love to hear and see these answers. So, yeah. See, yeah, I'm just really excited to work with Ursula and get her leveled up. I'm also excited to get these missions going because hopefully farming on stage 14 for all of these dungeons, not only is it going to get me a bunch of awesome gems, but it's also going to get me some new gear that I could really use, because I'm starting to fall behind in that department a little bit. Hopefully we can, the Ursula hopefully will make a big enough difference on Clan Boss to just bridge that gap to maybe a 10 million Nightmare key so that I can start 4-keying it, but we'll see, right? All right. Well, I'm not gonna blather on any longer. So that's where we're at on the account. Thank you all for watching, and I will see you in the next video.